I think as you grow, they change. When you grow, your internal self becomes strong and the external world affects you less. All that is you're able to handle more uncertainty. Again, I'm still certainty focused, but it's different. It's not the same as it used to. I had to know everything.
Apparently the first 4 are the needs of the human, survival needs, and then the last 2 are the ones that provide fulfillment that most people don't really tap into until after the basic needs are met. So food, water, shelter, love, connection, some sort of significance, and then boom, okay, now all of a sudden, now what?
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1946, A Simple Human Understanding. That'd be a pretty cool band name.
Yeah,
hey man, did you hear that new single from A Simple Human Understanding? And the shortened would be ASHU, A-S-H-U. Interesting.
That is
cool.
actually my band.
A band name, cool. A Simple Human...
Give us a hit. What would one of the hits? Give us the chorus.
Oh, man. I mean, it would be just... Oh, wait, this like the actual chorus?
Yeah.
And that's a riff. I don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that. Because I would need like a song. We don't have time for that right now. I did do remember I did a rap back in the day on one of the episodes? It was one of the most nerve-wracking. This was like...
Oh, yeah.
In the maybe 100, 200s. This was like way back in the day. Throwback.
Nice.
So you and I were having a conversation last week. 2 weeks ago.
Most likely.
Typical. And we were very deep, and you were talking about something that you had gone through, and I was talking about something that I had gone through. And I said, now more than ever, I agree with what Tony Robbins said in his TED Talk about how everybody is just trying to get their needs met. And some people are doing it in productive ways. Other people are doing it in destructive ways. Some people are doing it consciously. Some people are doing it unconsciously. But now more than ever, I really try to see, I don't want to say it that way. I really try to see the need that is being met more than almost anything else, because it gives us a really good understanding. It's an explanation, not an excuse. And again, that's not my quote. I saw that somewhere. Can you go through the 6 basic human needs that Tony talked about in his TED Talk? And then we can kind of dive into, we'll see what happens after that.
Before I do the 6
for
human needs.
Fletcher's sake. I should have just said them.
I should have just said them. Trying to keep me on the rails.
I should have just said them. Either way, we're going to get
to
the same thing's going to happen no matter what. So
you know it.
Go on.
Coach Michael Burt says he wrote a book. Oh, damn. What's the name of his new book? Damn.
I'm not the guy.
It's not Prey Drive. He wrote a book, and he deconstructed the top 20 motivational theories. We met Michael Burke. I lost it. I just lost it. I just lost everything. Michael Burt. My brain broke.
Just for behind the scenes. Some days when Alan and I are working together, it happens to both of us, but it's very noticeable when it happens to him. He'll literally be like in the middle of a thought, and then you can see his brain has just turned off. It's like, okay, we're done. That just happened.
It's called, hold on, I just turned on Audible. I apologize. It's called Flip the Switch. I couldn't move on. I couldn't move on. Okay, flip the switch, and I promise I'll bring this back to the needs. He says that he deconstructed the top 20 motivational theories from research, and he said that unsatisfied needs motivate. Satisfied needs never motivate. So unsatisfied needs are not a bad thing. They're not. However, the way you meet those needs can be a very bad thing. Drugs, alcohol, pornography, There's constructive and destructive ways to meet your needs. And I just wanted to open with that. Okay. And whoa. Here we are. Saturday morning. Let's rock and roll.
Who was that again? What was the author's name? Charles Brooks? what was his name?
Coach Michael Brooks.
Oh, okay.
That's my bad. Sorry, Mr. Burt. Okay. The 6 human needs. The first one is certainty. Second one is variety. Third one is significance. Fourth one is love / connection. 5th one is growth. 6th is contribution.
Okay.
We all have all 6, but the order affects everything, the direction of our life. So Kevin's very certainty driven and used to be very significance driven. Now he's, I would say, certainty first, growth second, contribution third, most likely. But when you're certain, it's growth and contribution. And certainty to you is money.
Yes.
So see how much we know you? We didn't know you back in the day, man.
I didn't know me either.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Now we
nobody
know.
else could really know me.
It's very predictable. Okay, there's a certain amount that Kevin needs in his bank account in order to be certain. Okay, after that, he can focus on growth and contribution and the future. So we know a lot about Kev based on these needs. So let's define each one. Certainty is, we all tie our certainty. So for me, certainty is my love with Emilia. Like if our relationship is 10 out of 10, I feel like I can change the world. When her and I aren't 10 out of 10, it's very hard for me to like show up to a podcast and then add value. Like if her and I weren't good, dude, I would have a really hard time being here. I'd still be here, but I wouldn't care as much about the craft and the listener when I'm uncertain about the love of my life, right? If she was hurt, all my certainty gone, like whatever, that kind of
Now, question. Does it help you have empathy knowing it might be the same for me when we don't have money?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. I just didn't know. And there's thresholds to this too, right? Like Emilia and I don't need to be 10 out of 10, but if we're 2 out of 10, I'm not even going to be here. And I would text you and say, man,
we've been 2 out of 10 financially for sure. I mean, we've been
sorry.
negative out
I'm
of
so
10.
sorry. Well, I've been negative out of 10 with relationships too, so
Haven't we?
not with Emilia, fortunately. Fortunately, the lowest we've ever dipped is probably like a 7. So I have a lot of certainty, so I feel very good. Okay, so certainty, number 1. Boom. Okay, number 2 is variety. You and I eat the same shit, do the same stuff. Like, we are consistent because we don't need variety. Emilia needs more variety than I do. Taryn needs more variety than you do.
Definitely.
We have 100 different, I just found this out, and you can tell who doesn't take care of the plants, which is me. I'm in charge of the fake ones. We have 100 different species of plants in our home.
It's a big variety.
Whoa.
If it was up to you, how many would you have? And I don't mean
0.
up to you as in like you're actively letting them die. I just mean if you were in charge
Probably
of...
none.
Yeah, probably none. Right?
I've never been a big plant guy. It's not something that I like them, and I think that they're probably really good for us, honestly. Like, having a good amount of plants in your home is apparently extremely good for your health, which makes perfect sense. Right?
Nature.
Carbon dioxide, oxygen. Yeah, really good symbiotic relationship. Anyways, variety. She gets her variety in certain ways. I get my variety in other ways. I can watch the same movie over and over. She can't. That kind of thing. Okay, boom. Significance. Significance is usually, statistically, significance and certainty are the 2 big ones. So I would say probably 80-20 rule. We'll just use Pareto principle on this. I'd say 80% of the population has one of their first 2 as certainty or significance. And the truth of the matter is that, how do I say this properly? As I've matured as a man, I crave significance less and less. But when I was younger, and I was like in high school, I mean, high schoolers are a perfect example of just significance. See me. Am I the cool kid? Am I with the popular? I mean, it's just brutal, right?
And insecurity. If
yeah,
you're
exactly.
Insecure, you probably like a lot of significance. Understandably, because that gives you certainty.
It gives you significance.
But
mentioned...
But getting significance gives you certainty too. Because it's like, oh, I'm certain in myself, or I'm certain that person.
Yeah.
I'm important.
I was thinking about this recently. Do you think that one of the reasons why people get upset if I'm late is because it makes them feel less important?
Yeah, for sure.
And
that's one thing I've had to let go of. It's not personal. It's not personal.
So it makes sense though for me now, finally, which is like, if someone has the core wound that we talked about, remember it's an episode 2 episodes ago, I think. What's the core wound? What triggers it? And what is your response to that? Someone else being late for you triggers you're not good enough. Like if you were valuable enough, they would be on time, type of thing? And again, I know this isn't conscious, but
it's more like not appreciated. I'm not appreciated. So it's not. It's more again, but that's something that I'm super focused on. Like for me, being on time is a principle, not a preference. It is for me. Going back to last episode, it is a principle. I don't like being late for anything ever. Hate it. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
So
and again, I think that's a good thing. I'm not knocking that. I think that's really important. I think it's something that I could work on. I need to work on. Okay, so that's significance. So significance is how important do you feel to the people around you, to the world? I think career is where a lot of people get a lot of importance. I remember I had a boss's boss at iRobot, and I remember thinking, I wonder if at home, because he was very capable and competent. He ran the whole global product management team. And I remember thinking, wow, you're kind of hot shit here. Like that must be cool. I wonder how it is at home for you. And I think one of my friends said this. He said, I bet you, because I was talking to him about it, I bet you at home, he's not the boss. And that must be hard for him because at home, his wife's probably the boss and like he must feel insignificant. And then he comes into work feeling like empowered again. And so I've noticed this. Most people are either they feel significant in their career or significant at home. Very rarely do you have both. I finally have both, but it used to be career for sure. Because in my relationships, I would feel so insignificant. It's like, I don't feel that important here. Because of course you're not going to feel important when you're trying to help someone achieve goals and dreams and they unconsciously don't want to or don't believe in themselves. So anyways, little side tangent. So where do you get your significance and where is the order there? Then there's love and connection. A lot of people like myself, I thought love was not as important. That's definitely one of the most important for me. I didn't realize. Underneath it, that's really what I wanted was unconditional love. Okay, and then 5th is growth, and then 6th is contribution. Apparently the first 4 are the needs of the human, survival needs, and then the last 2 are the ones that provide fulfillment that most people don't really tap into until after the basic needs are met. So food, water, shelter, love, connection, some sort of significance, and then boom, okay, now all of a sudden, now what? You and I both hit 6 figures in our early mid-20s, and after that it was, now what? Okay, basic needs are met, and then some. Now what? Growth and contribution. I think growth and contribution are just not, I mean, when you don't know if you're going to have food, there's no way you can care about growth. Of course not, right? Oh, I think I'm going to work on my personal development today. No way. You're going to go find a way to get food, right? So, and that's totally understandable. What's the order? Growth is learning, expansion, getting outside your comfort zone, emotional intelligence, IQ, blah, blah, blah. Contribution is whatever you contribute to the world. Your body of work, your career, your service, your volunteer work, your generosity, your charities that you donate to, blah, blah, blah. NLU listener, what is happening? I just wanted to jump in here and let you know if you want to get to the next level faster, we have a free virtual monthly meetup at the first Thursday of every month. You can connect with like-minded people and become a bigger part of this amazing global community. The link to register will be in the show notes. Okay, so what's your order, Kev?
Oh, no.
And what is the way you meet each need? One way you meet each need. And then we'll unpack it for the listener.
Certainty is number 1 for sure. Then probably contribution.
You might have chose the wrong business partner.
Like, definitely. At times, for sure.
Certainty is number 1.
Contribution. Growth, love. Significance. Variety.
Nice.
I would say. And that's changed. That's changed a lot over.
Yes, it has. That's what evolution is, I think. So what was it before? Old Kev. And by the way, I was answering because I love the dialogue between Kevin and I, but we've been studying. I mean, we did an episode on this back in the hundreds or 200.
Oh, we've done several episodes on this.
Yeah, this has got to be at least part 6 or something.
For sure. Back in the day, it was probably
certainty still.
Certainty, significance, love, The growth and contribution were absolutely last. I would say growth was last. Contribution, I always wanted to contribute. I wasn't super capable of it.
I want to share the implication. I think variety was always maybe last or second to last.
It was always last or second to last.
Yeah, old Kev, I think growth was last. New Kev, variety is definitely last.
Yeah.
And you and I both have variety last. So
which is good. I think that's a superpower.
Yeah, that's why we can be so consistent.
It's a superpower for what we want to do.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's not necessarily if you're somebody who is not at all variety driven and you have a partner who is, that's the thing. Like I can do better with planning dates because I don't care as much. So I have to be hyper conscious that my natural is not somebody else's natural.
Yeah. This Sunday, I was thinking about it. My natural is like, we're just going to stay home.
Same.
That's my natural. I would have to go very out of my way to like, wait, do I want to go somewhere?
Actively planning a date.
Yeah. But
it has to be conscious because if I don't do it consciously.
Yeah, it's not natural.
I'll just float my way over to the couch. And then boom, done. That's the day. Here we are.
So let's unpack some of the implications. So old Kev had certainty, significance,
love
as the first two.
Yep.
And contribution. It was certainty, significance, contribution. So here's the problem. Growth, contribution being higher than growth is dangerous because if you don't grow your income, you're not going to be able to contribute more.
Or if I don't grow myself,
yes, you're not going
to be able to contribute.
Grow your income and therefore grow your contribution. So people say go-getter. I say grow giver. It was go-getter and go-giver. There's a book I read once called Go Giver. I don't remember the author. But I remember thinking that's not...
Bob Berg, I believe.
It was half the equation. Yin and yang. It was only the yin. Grow giver. Let's say I grow my income to, we'll start small, $2,000 a month, and then I grow it to $4,000 a month. Now I can give more. Now I grow it from $4,000 to $8,000. Now I can give more.
Yep.
But you have to grow first. You can't just give. That's a martyr. If you just go get, you're a selfish prick, potentially. Seriously. Like if you don't contribute to society, to your family, you are. You're selfish. Like there's overly selfish and overly selfless. Overly selfless is a martyr. You burn yourself down to try to save everyone else. And then overly selfish is you don't care about anyone but yourself. And we all need to find 5. The old me wouldn't have been able to say all that out loud. I actually do think some people are selfish. I really do.
Well, that is an absolute fact.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like, but it doesn't sound, that's the thing is, just like there are some people out there that are martyrs. But being a martyr sounds respectable. It's like, wow, that person, they just give and give. Like, they give way more than they have.
You ever hear they would give the shirt off their back?
Yeah.
I see you. That's not smart.
No, it's not ideal.
You could go buy another shirt. Like, go to work and then buy someone a shirt instead of taking the one off your back, right? So,
yeah.
But to go back to this originally, old Kev versus new Kev, how the hell did you change your needs structure? Because that ultimately has changed everything. There's no way certainty and significance could be first two and then start a holistic self-improvement company with me.
I think as you grow, they change. So when I focused more on, there's the, I don't know if it's a saying or if it's a quote or if it's a meme, but you hear people talk about how when you grow, your internal self becomes strong and the external world affects you less. And I think that all that is you're able to handle more uncertainty. I think when I was super focused on, again, I'm still certainty focused, but it's different. It's not the same as it used to. I had to know everything.
What meets each need? Like, let's go into one thing that meets each need. Because it's not only the need structure that's different, it's how are you meeting your needs?
Money is certainty.
Makes sense why it's so confusing. You have to know the order, not just the past, but the present and the future. You have to know how you're meeting each need and whether or not it's constructive or destructive to your future.
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. Certainty for me is financial. That's like where my core wounds come from, so that's the thing that I need the most certainty in. Love Taryn. As long as I have Taryn, I don't really need much else. I don't need that many friends. Like, that's where I get my love met. Taryn. And connection. Significance, probably this. Let's say the podcast. I don't really...
Being jacked.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Being jacked.
Yeah.
But, like, it doesn't really matter whether or not I post pictures of myself. Do I get significance when people reach out and say you're in really good shape? Yeah. But it's not as much of a requirement as it used to be. Yeah. If you go, my handle's at NeverQuitKid. If you don't follow me, Alan's is at Lazaros, Alazaros 88. If you go look back in 2015, like 2014 to 2016, if you go look at my Instagram, it's all bodybuilding stuff. All of that was because it made me feel significant. All of that. I didn't post every day because I felt like I was adding value. I posted every day because I was jacked, and I get a lot of love for that. Like, that was all significance based, for sure.
It's so wild.
So that was that. Variety. Yeah, I watch a different movie. That's like how I get my variety.
Yeah.
It's just I watch a different show or a different movie. Now I'm married and Taryn's is higher than mine, so going and doing something. Planning something for her is good variety for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I just don't value it as much. Growth and contribution, the podcast. Growing.
Amelia last night, sorry to interrupt, she mentioned, I was watching there's a new film on Netflix about, it's based in 1859, and it was like during the Civil War, but it's like the Western Front. And it's chapter 1, so I don't know if it's a show or a movie. I think it's a movie. I think there's going to be 3 chapters. It's long as hell. It's like 3 hours. So I think it's like a show/movie because there's going to be 3 chapters. They've been doing that a lot lately, like Dune, part 1, part 2, part 3, that kind of thing. But anyways, so it was awesome. And the scenery and the nature in it was great. And she's like, I'd love to road trip to Wyoming. And I was like, okay, noted. That's a trick. That's a trek.
Yeah.
That
supposedly
means
very,
at least a week.
Very least. Beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the
I would
things,
love to do that. It's just, when the F are we going to do that?
I very much feel you on that. Last thing, I know maybe we'll have to do part 2 because we didn't get a ton into them. We'll see. We'll see how it wraps up here. So Taryn's brother got married last year. So now my brother-in-law got married last year. In his wife's family is somebody who won the show Alone. So Alone is a show where they stick you on an island and you have to find a way to survive, and the person who lasts the longest wins. He won the show. He does these wildlife, wilderness, nature things where he takes people out and teaches them survival. And he invited us to do it because he was at the wedding. Super cool dude. Coolest dude. He's been on a lot of Joe Rogan. He's been on all the big shows. Just a cool, down-to-earth dude. And I told Taryn, I was like, how awesome would that be? When the hell am I going to do that? It's quite like there are no phones. It's like this is a week away from everything. That's the point of it. I'll be right with you. I'll whittle that fire real quick. Got to batch my WhatsApp real quick. Give me 5. That ain't going to work.
So that's not yet.
That is maybe a future thing. I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome. I think that's a really cool way to get variety. It's just a matter of...
Yeah, there goes your certainty, though.
There is no certainty there.
Well, I started a business, so I'd have more free time.
Well, I'm 20 years in, I think that'll happen, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. You know better than I do. All right, 3-second wrap-up.
What is the syntax of your needs? Especially the top 3.
Okay.
And then how are you meeting them? And what is destructive in the way you're meeting them? Because that's what you do. If you want to have a constructive life, I think you just eliminate the destructive persons, places, things, and ideas. I feel like that's more important. At least it has been for me. Yeah. It's been more important to eliminate the destructive stuff than it has been to try to do the constructive stuff.
I would agree with that for sure. I think that's very accurate. Do you think we'll have to... I don't want to say we'll have to. Do you think we should do a part 2?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to make a note of it. All right, cool. All right, I don't have a 3-second wrap-up because I'll do the 3-second wrap-up when we do part 2. But I think these are, because I have a lot of examples I want to go into, and we didn't have time to do it today, so I'm going to save it. Okay, Next Level Nation, if you haven't got your Dreamliner for Q1, make sure you do. Mine is still not here because for some reason this is my old one. Evidently, I live in the Antarctic, and it takes 2 weeks to get to me. Other people order it, and it gets there the next day. What are you going to do? It is what it is. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an opportunity to get to the next level. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Stay next level. Next Level Nation.